As always, something I always want to talk about. The women's liberation movement. I know a lot of people already know this, but Women's Lib was funded by the Rockefeller Foundation. It was just an attempt to get both the parents at work so they could tax both the parents, and then the kid would have to go to school. It's just a divide and conquer situation that has been going on for millennia to all different colors and creeds. I know white people don't want to consider themselves, or so-called white people don't want to consider themselves slaves, but it seems as though that they've been duped in a situation that's different than maybe somebody else. You know, they seem to get it on a more psychological, sociological level than somebody else maybe. Because you might have an Escalade in the driveway and live in the suburbs, but you're in prison. You know, like you hate your job, you hate your life, you know, everything's falling apart around you internally, but externally it looks honky-dory. But that's really all I wanted to say, that the Women's Lib movement was to separate the family. Just like they try to separate families of color, especially black. You know, they won't let you have a male in the household if you're on welfare, or they wouldn't at one point, I remember. And you know, you don't need a warrant to run into the house if you know, if you're on Section 8, things like that. All different little things that they slide in there to separate the family, keep people apart. It's just you know, to divide and conquer, because you know that's what it comes down to separate and distance these people. You know, that's all it is, to destroy the family structure. Because once you do that, then you open the individual up, because no one's really separate. But when you distance them further and further, it's easier to get into them. It's like a free radical. It's kind of the same situation, you know, a free radical. It becomes cancerous, right? If you're a single person, if you consider yourself single, you're a free radical, and it's really not healthy. Because you may not have a spouse, something to spice up your life, because that's what spouse comes from, something to complement, not to complete. If you don't have a spouse and you're saying I'm single, then you know you kind of disrespecting everybody else in your life, because you know you're really never single in this thing. So that's, you know, when it comes down to Women's Lib, it was just to separate the parents from the child, get the child indoctrinated in the schools with the poison and the vaccines and the, you know, the mental poison, of course. And then, you know, it just started from that, the separation, divide and conquer. The same thing they did to the Aborigines, same thing they did Native Americans in Africa, everywhere, you know, wherever you want to pick a place, really pick a place. But that's what it came down to, divide and conquer. Create the division, and you know, you can get inside. That's really, you know, basically break apart, open up, and then you can get inside. So Women's Lib was funded by the Rockefeller Foundation, and you know, I hope somebody gets something out of that. I don't know. I just always wanted to say it, man. Fuck school and the educational system. It's a crock.